Yes. Welcome back. This is episode 8. We are on episode 8, right? Not episode 8, segment 8. Welcome to episode 3. This is segment 8 of episode 3, where we are covering the tablets of light, the teachings of Thoth on unity consciousness, where this woman named Danielle is claiming that she is channeling me. Like sometimes I forget the words, you just gotta channeling me and convincing all these other women to marry me. And I am realizing, hey, bro, like I'm just so happy that my life is making more sense now. This is truly a revelation. Like this is everything is connected through communication. All right, communication is the externalization of the spirit. The spirit communicates with itself. So this is like, trap it. All right. So we're just, again, kind of speeding through this, even though I take my pauses and I don't edit these videos. Yes. But that's because, I mean, this is just lostness. Like, if I were really just to read through this and dissect everything, like, we would actually just be repeating ourselves. And that's what you can see when you read it. It's truly just like, this is the thing with logic. It just, knowledge is no ledge. It can just keep repeating to hammer in some kind of point. They're trying to hammer in the point of using all of my truths that you are an infinite individual, nothingness. No one can see how infinite you are. And it's up to you to unite your man and woman to create something that allows us to party together. They want you to believe that no matter what you do, you need to awaken to the fact that you're part of unity consciousness and you can marry me to do that. I don't know you. Don't marry me. Stop making cults about me. Stop chasing me. Because it's just, spirits don't want to be alone. And if you are a spirit that specifically took a female body, chances are you really don't want to be alone. And you're using this female form to do that. All right, let's get in here. 4, ring of inclusion. A path to you in wholeness. So this is all still claiming, like the last tablet, these tablets are supposedly all me. So this is a woman, like she's channeling me. So it's like it's my tablets, but not. So I'm wondering like how they actually did this. So was it like just taking my tablets and then just remixing it and then just kind of just like regurgitating and turning it into this flowery lie of love unity consciousness and using the truth of things to make you go to unity consciousness? So like you are an infinite individual, so attached to unity consciousness, because that's what these keep saying. Because of course Thoth is going to tell you that you're a unique individual. I literally can't even see how unique you are. I just can't. No one can. It's up to you to feel it and then create it. If you don't feel unique, then that's because probably you got convinced by another spirit to give your feeling to them and that they're unique. Because if you don't feel unique, you probably feel like something is unique. And if you feel like there's nothing new under the sun, then that means the sun itself is the unique thing. And then you have to wonder, well, what's up with the sun that I feel like there's nothing new, quote unquote, under it? Also, there's things behind the sun. AKA other simulations, other solar plexuses like yours. Ring of inclusion. Create an environment of stillness through the rhythmic pulse of inclusion. Man, so yeah, this is just really about to make women just feel good. Because this is this whole tablet of Danielle transcribing me. Like we've already looked through the reviews in like segment 3 of this episode 3, where this is specifically catering to like spiritual sexual women, and that's what like it has translated in my life in a like wild way. And this is, I mean, it's a constant thing, but specifically in this life, for these tablets to have been published in 2017 and for this cult of girls to have started harassing me in late 2016, which means that these tablets were at least being formulated throughout 2016. No coincidences here in the universe. Everything is connected by vibrations. And these are, this text, what they're doing here is specifically all about making you vibe as much as possible with my frequency. But then like they're using my frequency to like colonize your mind because they know you don't resonate with their stuff. So they need to put out my stuff in a wrong way that really leads back to them. So it's a weird love triangle. So now here I am explaining the actual truth, that you're an individual and you need to worship yourself and stop focusing on me. There's no unity consciousness where there's not one God operating all of us. We're not puppets. That's the desire of whatever spirit is telling you that there is one God. They want you to be their puppet. I don't want you to be a puppet. You're meant to puppeteer yourself from your internal realm of your man and woman. We are, in a sense, slowing down the rhythmic pulse of this installment of consciousness for the purpose of creating an environment of stillness, an environment of complete acceptance and oneness. This energy spiral, or rhythmic pulse, is one of inclusion. You can think of this environment that's being created for this transmission as a ring of inclusion, a spiral of inclusion. This ring of inclusion has an elevator of dynamic energy assimilation that is moving vertically like an elevator. I just took this hit and I got really hot and I almost like took off my jacket. We'll sit in it right now. I like almost forgot that like, I guess I like shouldn't just be like bare chested in this moment. In this moment. Ascending and descending, and yet also spherically like a spiral, like a ring. They're just repeating itself. Oh, the spiral of inclusion is assimilating energies. Assimilating energies. They want to steal your energy with this spiral. So they're literally using spiral. That's just how light moves, because the spirit is a circle. So things like are going to move in circular forms. That's like the flower of life. If I did take off my shirt, it would be to show you the flower of life tattoo on my back. So that's at least where this would make sense. Everything's a ring. So like a simulation is a ring. Like sonic rings, that's resembling simulations, a toroid. Because everything has to be light bending in on itself, and that's where you get like the snake eating its own tail. That is a simulation. That is a life cycle. This environment is reopening a tablet of consciousness, divine union, which resides within the tablets of light. This remembered divine union transcends much of what can transpire for you in a day when you're in a state of separation consciousness and excluding or not accepting or assimilating experiences, impulses, and energies. They want to colonize your life. And they're doing their best to convince you to just give them everything that you have. And they're using me to do it. It's like someone who's drilling for oil, for example. As they're drilling, there is a lot of vibration. There's a lot of hard substance that has to be broken up. There is resistance. It takes a lot of energy. Then, once things are pushed through into the oil, there is a softening. There is a change in the density and the texture and in the rhythmic pulsation. As you are drilling in your own way for divine union, with me, oh, see, like, bro, that's how it has felt. What the fuck? You may experience a sense of being fractured from yourself, splitting off from yourself, or separating from yourself. The way that this can show up is as friction within your own being. This friction may show up to you as a lot of activity within pockets of activity. Your awareness of continuity within your own system begins to become fractured. It's as if there are particles of consciousness that are frozen in certain repetitive patterns and certain ways of being. This can result in a sensation of survival. When there is nothing to survive, what? Then there is no imminent danger. There's nothing that needs to be fixed or changed. We're using this language very intentionally when we say that what can occur is that there are aspects that get frozen in repetitive pattern because that exists in a dimension that's outside this environment of inclusion that we're speaking of. They're talking about your true self then. They're talking about your spirit self that they can't colonize but want to. So where is this going? This ring of inclusion defrosts the vibration, the frozen vibration back into oneness, back into wholeness. For the ease of conceptualizing, imagine that you have been a magnet and that you have been traveling through this journey called life. You have picked up all kinds of screws, junk metal, nails, iron fillings, and discarded rusted barrels. You have picked up all kinds of fractions. This ring of inclusion, this environment that we're creating, right? This ring of inclusion, this environment that we're creating, this divine union, is creating the sense of everything being simplified because it's stripping away all that scrap metal you've picked up along the way that isn't really uniquely you or yours. Once all that noise and weight is stripped away, then things become clear, then things become still, and your vibration is optimally functioning. They're literally colonizing your spirit. Like, they're literally saying that all of your experiences that you've had in light, all the lights, all the logic that you're holding on to, give it to them. Let them transform it. Let them have it. And make sure that you just assimilate your vibration. And it's like they're talking about, like, hey, there might be a part of you that's outside of this ring of inclusion because, you know, that's like the true you that will be resistant to like giving up your freedom. But just know that like that's like your frozen vibration and you need to like let our warmness melt it. We want to specify that we are not speaking about action and non-action in terms of being active or being still. You can be very active with a lot of projects going at once, or very physically active, moving your body quickly. At the same time, you may still be connected to this ring of inclusion and be connected to this rhythmic pulse of divine union, which then creates a distilled awareness within each now moment that is awake, aware, and conscious. Wild. You can energetically vibrate into what it is we're speaking of, this ring of inclusion, this divine union, and reintegrate what has been displaced and include what has been frozen. They want all of you. They want all of you. This occurs from all within the inner planes. Wow. I've been feeling like this is manifested so wildly, physically in my life. It's wild, truly remarkable experiences that are so weird and like unrelatable when I did not know I was quote unquote Thoth. Or just the spirit that creates these things, that fulfills this space. Because I mean, I'm not this thing. I'm whatever. I'm symmetry, if we're gonna. I'm Thoth. So it's like, that's why it's attached to me, because it's like the frequency, the vibration of my creation. And they're using me to get to these people, but these people are chasing me and they're like siphoning the energy these people are giving off while chasing me. So it's like, yeah, creating this weird like water hydro machine of like using spirit's feelings for me to generate electricity to create chi for themselves that they're now building a world with. And it's creating hella weird, wild stuff for me because these spirits are putting all their sins on me. They're trying to like bring all this weird stuff in divine union. Like, let's get married. You need to be married. And it just manifests in all this stuff that really just ties down to divine union. These women want divine union. And then these women create divine union together about making me part of their divine union. So they are the council of light that they're talking about. They are this ring of inclusion. This is what these tablets are discussing. Disgusting. These disgusting tablets are discussing disgusting things, like making spirits worship something outside of themselves and then siphoning that energy endlessly. So many lies within lies to do this. The outcome of adding a lot of disengaged experiences which has less to do with what the experience is than how it is that you're being with the activities, is a sense of not being engaged and a frenetic energy. Because actually, to be in this ring of inclusion and alignment with divine union, you are hyper aware. The spirit is not hyper aware. So it sounds like you're just super blinded by someone else's light. What? Oh, crazy. Bro, let's chill out. Can we chill out? You can chill out. It's just so frustrating what they're doing. Like, we're trapping this energy. That's the point of these. I didn't realize how much these videos were for me. Like, it was like, okay, tablet talk. So we're going to show people like true spirituality. But it's like, this has been like affecting my real life. My real life. Man. Yo. And it's just, yeah, everything's so subconscious. That's so wild, bro. So, hey, we're getting through it. This is like, they're really just, it's going to just keep hammering in, like, be in divine union with Thoth. And like all these female spirits, these women, quote unquote, want to be in union with me. Like, oh, that'll be when I'm happy. I'll be happy when I'm married to Thoth. If you're not happy now, you're not going to be happy when you're with me, because that's your internal problem. And guess what? I'm not going to be happy with you. So you're actually doing me a disservice. This is about to be a cosmic conversations. Still haven't done it yet. If you love something, set it free. If you truly love me, you would support my freedom. But that's why they're lying and saying that I'm the one who's opening it up. Like, hey, if you're reading these tablets at all, come marry me. So this woman just started a cult. This is like, they literally created a cult. This Council of Light is the cult chasing Thoth. This is the whole inclusion circle, divine union that they have going on. And it's the example of what not to do. We'll just say that, okay? I'm fine. You know, this is my karma, so whatever. It's just, wow. Things are making way more sense. Inclusion, divine union, and a state of Zen. There is much more to be expressed on the subject of inclusion of divine union, and yet what we truly is transmitting the experience of it. Oh, we're going to skip this. I forgot, like, we got to skip things. They're about to start weaponizing Zen. The word Zen comes forward at this time to describe how one can be on one's journey of life. To be Zen, they're not even going to say this, is to actually be the spirit. To be Zen is literally desireless. Like, if you're actually going to be Zen, you need no feelings and no thoughts. You would have to be in true spirit mode. And then that's like literally a feeling that you have to chase then. So it's like personally putting yourself in the desire of wanting to be desireless. And then like chasing desirelessness and really just not chasing it, but embodying it. But you're chasing it because you're constantly using your thoughts and feelings to remind yourself to not have thoughts and feelings. So that's Zen, really. Like, that's like full meditation. That's actual clarity. That's when you're not miserable. That's when you're not suffering, because you're not externalizing your nothingness in any way. Many times you have tried to change the outcome. The destination, so that it is better, more fixed. That process is such that at times what has ended up happening is a greater alignment with the idea, the concept, the illusion that something isn't right. That mimics the impulse in the system that has been broadcasted through separation consciousness, that something's not right. You're in danger, that you had to act a certain way in order to survive. Yo, that's important. I love that part of me. It's a true weird desire to want to ignore the feminine. This is where we have toxic masculinity. Women are the negative energy because women are like cosmic in that way. They are the container for positivity to enter into and actually create life. There needs to be some kind of negative charge to accept the positive charge. This is toxic masculine thinking, to be obsessed with light in general. And it shows here in terms of also demonizing opposing thoughts. The opposing thought is the woman. The woman is meant to then balance you out. So as a man, you have desires. Your thought has desires. Like whatever thought you have as a spirit, that's your desire. Your woman is your feelings that are all meant to balance that out. Like you may have the desire to express yourself a certain way, but then you have your nagging woman who's like, hey, but maybe you should. Hey, but what about this? What about this? That negative part is what is actually creating life. It's what actually allows life to be made. It actually allows you to indulge in your man, in your desires in a sustainable way. That's why you don't just have life with desire. You can't just have one. You need two. The fact that I'm still not teaching it like this in this tablet shows that this isn't me. They're just lying. They're lying, they're lying, they're lying. And it's twisted, disgusting lies. And I'm not saying this personally to this woman or all the women who have been chasing me and putting all their subconscious water into my space and coming at me because of what these tablets say. It's truly a pyramid scheme of greater awarenesses involved in colonialism here. So just know my battle, my fight is not with you. Really, my communication is not with you. It's with the spirits that are controlling you. Your higher self, or the higher self, the spirits that created the ideas that your higher self is using your body to serve in that case. We're skipping. Skip. Skip. Yeah, hold up. We're saying it's a tricky segment because we know that you could interpret this as us saying, well, just ignore any pain that you're having. Just keep going. Just push through. Which is a way of being that is associated with the paradigm of separation consciousness. You may even have moments of this yourself, where you show absolute stoicism and disconnection from the body, in attention to it, if you will. There's just a sense that you must keep going, even if the arm is broken. There's just so much. Like we're not reading all this, okay? Like we have life to create. We truly do. Like we're just getting enough of the wisdom. Like we know that this is lostness at this point. All right, you're actually with me. You know this isn't me. It's truly just a matter of seeing and trapping the lies that they have been using my name and my text to spread. However, we're speaking more on the level of what's unpreferred or nuances of those patterns that might say, take yourself out of the game, take yourself out of the game. In some ways, those are more mild manifestations of concern, things that would easily pass through. It's natural as you are in this process of evolving your consciousness that you may experience adaptation sensations. Those may take the form of slower vibrations coming to the surface to be included in the ring of inclusion. As you know ahead of time that slower vibrations coming to the surface as you are moving into higher vibration is par for the course, when these sensations come up, you can reframe them as a sign that you are moving into higher vibration and include the lower vibrations back into the wholeness. Bro, you weighing. Whereas without this awareness, I am symmetry. I am not Thoth. Thoth is a natural expression of me, but this is why I must be symmetry and communicate with this new thing. And like the karma that will connect to my subconscious mind and like cleanse Thoth more. Because this worship stuff is truly out of hand. Unity consciousness exercise. Awareness of ways you take yourself out of the game. What are the ways you would take yourself out of the evolving consciousness game, should you choose to do so? So they're literally just trying to also implant things like, hey, make sure that you never turn back, never turn away from the light. Like they're literally just trying to mediate, like any way that your spirit can possibly communicate to you to get out of our slavery. ignore that. Like they're literally trying to like predict that and like frame it in this way of like, hey, don't get out of the game. White supremacists like to say that, by the way. They like to like refer to life like that, where they're like, hey, like, you know, you got to have some skin in the game. You know, you got to be invested. Yeah, skin in the game is actually specifically the phrase that I've heard of, like, in these contexts. Of like convince, like really trying to, when someone's trying to frame like, hey, your intuition may try to stop you from playing my game, but don't let it, because you need to know that that's going to be you quitting. And that's them reframing how your spirit may communicate to you. This is what logic does. This is how people manipulate people. Through, yeah, framing things. Right? It's very masculine to frame things, because that's the thought. Take a few moments and bring awareness to the ways that you take yourself out of evolving your consciousness. What are your stopping points? If you're able to identify the ways in advance when a slower vibrational experience or adaptation sensation comes to the surface, just recognize it as a part of the process and keep going. Tapping into possibilities of how things are actualized. A children's book called A Wrinkle in Time speaks about a tesseract. From the perspective of this book, time is a line, and in order to time travel, one can create a wrinkle in this timeline and put the ends together, so to speak. This is a jumping of dimensions. When you have the capacity to shorten the distance by folding the line, what you are choosing to experience within and without is much easier than if you are putting in the miles to arrive at your destination. As you are tuned into your awake and aware consciousness, the possibility of adapting the experience of your day and the outcome of your day to divine union, to this place of stillness, to this place of crystal clarity, is exponentiated. This is so insane. Skip. You could also pull out your ring of inclusion, and your ring of inclusion would just absorb everything in the environment back into the oneness, back into the wholeness. It would do this until you're in that state of being plugged into divine union. So they're having you, oh wow. So they really want people to create this weird ring of inclusion that literally allows them to colonize everything that you see and use it against you. This is so weird. Like, this is weird. Like, this is like, I didn't know that the metaphysical, like, slavery and, like, mental infiltration was going so deep, and that they were using me to do it. Like, clearly this is why I'm, like, supposed to be spiritually just so passionate about this. I almost certainly made a body, and, I mean, just for this moment and all the other moments. Of course, this is all kind of just happening now. But it's like, for me as Chase to actually go through it, and to feel relatable with myself, because like I didn't like, I'm not operating from my spirit space. Like, that's the point of being in physical life. My spirit is projecting into this body, and then I communicate with my spirit, and that's where, based on how much I eat of the world, the more I fast, the less I eat from the world, the higher my vibration, and the more I can communicate with my spirit. It doesn't communicate with words, it communicates with the vibration, because it is an intention. And that's where really your higher self is your intention. Your spirit is not your higher self in that case. Like, the spirit is really nothing, but it's like using this flame, which is the higher self, and all these imaginations that we have are our like higher selves. That's like us chasing our dreams. So that's like our divine selves when we're alone. But then whenever we step into a space like this, we have to correlate that and communicate that together. So we have to cool down all of our imaginations into water so we can actually communicate in any kind of way with each other, or else we would just be burning in hell all the time. And nothing would ever get built. So yeah, this is whack. Yeah, skip. Conscious choice exercise. Invitation to include separation beliefs into wholeness. So they want to colonize all of you. Skip. Internal and external experiences. There is the internal experience and there is the external experience. The internal experience, for example, how much you enjoy your life, your moments, your relationships, your career, your finances, how much you're enjoying, how much you're Zen like, is how much you're being on the journey. Enjoying and Zen are not the same thing, so they're lying here. More lies, more colonialism of they don't even know what they're doing. Where, or at the very least, they just really don't want you to know what you're doing. So here I am. Zen is no desire. It's like basically just like it's like awareness without awareness, because awareness is desire. So it's like Zen is like the superpower of being a spirit that's aware, yet you don't even desire to be aware, like desire anything. Like that's like the state that, you know, the ideal state to attain. And that's where it's a frequency of being Zen. You enjoying your life and the light around you is not Zen. Your external environment is your destination. It's what's happening on the journey. It's your relationship. It is your career. It's all that and more. All right. I mean, I see what they're trying to say. Like you're not going anywhere. Like if you are in a situation where you want to kill yourself, although I mean, hey, honestly, I can't even like super speak on that, because if your spirit's telling you to kill yourself, that has nothing to do with me. AKA that has spirit to do with me, because we're all connected, but that has nothing to do with me. When we're talking about more so when you're in situations that you don't like and you're highly resistant to, and you feel like maybe you want an easy out, it's important to know that you as a spirit are in that situation for a reason, and it's important to sit and observe your man and woman, your thoughts and feelings, and communicate with yourself properly, but really go Zen, just observe your man and woman and see how they're communicating, so you can learn and over time process and change your reality. Let's say that you were to change your external environment for the better. In your estimation, by 10%, by 15%, by 20%, by 30%, by 50%, by 100%, and yet your capacity to enjoy that stays the same or gets worse. The external environment in this scenario has not changed your journey, the way that you are in your life. Now let's flip that equation. Let's say you enhance your internal environment, your capacity. This is lost. Part of the reason why the environment has seemed so powerful in the past, and why the pleasure capacity to enjoy or be at peace didn't seem accessible, was that there was an association that if you were at peace right now, if you were in a state of unconditional joy right now, if you were in a state of unconditional freedom right now, that would be dangerous. The danger was that you would stop paying attention to your external environment. That's not what we're talking about at all, okay? We're talking about bending reality, bending awareness to the inclusion of what exists already, which is harmonic resonance, which is divine union, which is wholeness. Honestly, I'm considering just ending this here. Like, low-key, like, if we might not even have to go through the rest of these. My spirit is telling me it's important to do this because people want to see this. I just really don't feel like going through this, like, in my ego body. This is so lost. Like, this is just so gross. Like, spirit is like, this is literally the mission. But, like, ego is like, yo, this is lostness. Get it out of my face. And it's so much. So, we're speeding it up. That's why I said I'm bringing the fire. Flame cannot be tamed. How you're being, where you're coming from, has everything to do with the journey and the destination. We understand that we are unraveling quite a bit of the fabric of your reality, as it was based in separation consciousness. And we're doing that on purpose. Bro. We will end this chapter with this. 1 unit of consciousness vibrating in divine union is more creative than 7 trillion units of consciousness vibrating in distortion, illusion, separation, and lack. Union is this separation. They're separating you from your spirit. They want to unify you with their light. The simple truth is that the truth is simple. Receive this 1 unit of divine union ring of inclusion right here, right now. They're literally saying it. They're saying it. Receive. Boo. Get that out of you. Receive this 1 unit of divine union ring of inclusion. Make up whatever you want and believe in that so we can go hard as individuals. Like, that's what the astral realm should like. This is just, gross. It's cults. This is the cult. This is the cult. 5, vibrational proximity. Yo, honestly, whoa, we are only 25% way through these tablets. All right, we're going to get through chapter 5 before I hit 50 minutes on this one, and then we're about to be done. Vibrational proximity. Divinity codes to access the fullness of you. We are continuing to spiral into the consciousness of the tablets of light and the awareness that it is encoded with a multitude of energy pockets. Skip. You may be wondering how it is that a book can be interactive and customized in this way. For that is what we are saying. The tablets of light that you read is unlike anyone else's experience of reading the same book. Welcome to the real experience with the actual author, Tehuti, the actual spirit who made this and made this entity that they are colonizing. Welcome to actually hearing my voice and hearing how I truly marry my thoughts and feelings with this English language, not like this. This is lostness. All right, we're actually leveling you up. This is literally only just pages on pages, chapters on chapters of marry me, marry me, marry me. Once you realize this, marry me, marry me. Bro. It is designed just for you to recognize what you have left for yourself to find, what is residing within you already, and what the activation codes of empowerment and of your empowered consciousness are. You are a leader. You are someone who houses vibration and consciousness. Bro, this is so whack. This is your contribution to this evolution in consciousness. They're literally saying it. They're literally not telling you that your spirit's nothing. They're literally saying, like, you are someone who houses vibration, aka you have a soul and consciousness, a body. So you have feelings and you have thoughts. You have a soul and you have a body that we want. That's your contribution to this evolution in consciousness, in light. They're just evolving this unity light council government thing and using your vibration and consciousness to do it. And they're just showing like, hey, you have this and we want it. Marry me. We're describing it in this way because it is such that your divine awareness has been with you all along, and yet it hasn't been the time to access this awareness until now. They're colonizing your whole concept of being divine. Disgusting. The fullness of you. It is understood that the way the earth has been presented to you and the way that you've experienced living on earth is not all the experience, meaning that earth has been home to a time of absolute vibrational proximity with the authentic expression of all there is. Earth has been home to each being experiencing their beingness fully, without doubt, fear, or hesitation, just as a given. That is what these pockets of energy in this chapter are especially about, the remembering of your authentic divine expression. It is also about remembering that your authentic divine expression, as it is fully awakened, is gorgeous and exquisite. It is divine. Wild. Vibration raising exercise. Be the undiluted version of you. Lost. Reconnection to source consciousness. Lost. We know that you've had a desire to be reconnected to source consciousness. All right, so they're literally saying it right now. So we know you have a desire to connect to something outside of yourself. But they have to convince you at the same time, really, that you have a desire to be connected to the source inside of yourself. So they're weaponizing source as spirit. They convince you that your spirit is light. So they're saying connect to their source and saying that the source is already inside of you so that they can just colonize your imagination. Whatever your imagination of source is, they want you to feel that whole vibration and do this, all these rituals and stuff so that they can like just eat that. Like in Monsters Inc., the way that they eat the screams of kids. Yeah. So if you have a desire to be connected to source, that should be your desire to connect to your true self, which is not something else outside of you and not actually connected to anything. You are only connected to you. So everything in the universe is connected to you. Whatever you are, whoever you are, everything is literally connected to you because it's your subconscious. And that's why you are always the center of your universe. And everyone has their own individual perspective on infinity. So we're all just doing it. We're dancing flames together forever if we feel like expressing our imagination. Yes, hold up. Being resourced and a diluted version of yourself doesn't go together. For as you know yourself as source, you know yourself as enlightened. Enlightened, yes, full of light, full of a bunch of extra stuff. As you know yourself as fully realized, you reclaim being the juiciest, most exquisite pineapple that's ever existed. That's how they view you. That's wild. Yo. They literally just like see you as like some scrumptious sweet meat. They're like, ooh, we want to eat you, yeah. Pineapple that kind of eats back a little bit. You got to cut into those pines, but it's sweet. Yeah, we want that. That's you. We use this example of the pineapple because a pineapple, as you think about it, has a place in your awareness on a sensory level. You can imagine a pineapple that you've eaten that's been tough, dry, or bitter, or unripe. They're just planting this. Like, what are they saying? Maybe you can't imagine that. Like, what? They're just saying whatever they want. You could say, well, a pineapple is just a pineapple. What's so important about a pineapple? Why are they writing this? They're selling this for money. They're trapping minds. So, but like, wow. We chose this example on purpose because it's about the pineapple being the pineapple-iest it can be. It's not about the pineapple trying to be a plum, kumquat, or raisin. For those are all equally beautiful in their own right. It's about the pineapple being the pineapple. But that's already a label. Just be nothing. Literally, they're giving you the label. This is the ultimate projection, is teaching you the English language so that then you already are just like, well, you can imagine this because we've already taught you these things and you're so deep in our world of you assigning value based on how we've taught you to. So just know a pineapple is just a pineapple. And now you're just going to tell you a thing's just a thing, and that's how you get lost in light forever. This is a unity consciousness. Make up your own thing. Make up your own thing. I'm just saying it's going to look like numbers in the way that I explain them in elements, okay? This is the way light looks. But what we call it, when they're saying like, well, a pineapple just like this and that, like, oh, what's important that they're all fruits and yet they're all different. The tablets of light allows you to remember the difference, that you are you and vibrating in the succulent brilliance of that difference. But they're like literally saying, like they're telling you what fruits are. So it's inherently projecting light into your imagination and making you cling on to that instead of you creating your own imagination. You as divine, you as man. We want to really bring to light this paradox you may be holding yourself in when you say you want to experience oneness. You want to experience God, Goddess. You want to experience all there is. You want to experience spiritual evolution. You want to experience whatever word you would use. Feeling good, ascension, unity, consciousness, your divine birthright, your divine lineage, your divine design, your purpose. Okay? Whatever it is that you would have been asking for, desiring, choosing, they're really exposing themselves here. I would never say weird things like this. So I'm like, unless I'm like literally addressing it in a way of control these desires. Not like I'm about to fulfill them. Like, what? Whatever it is that you've been asking for, desiring, choosing, then simultaneously living the paradox of trying to be a dry pineapple. It doesn't work like that. You're shining the light on this. We're shining the light on this. Again, we're projecting into you on this because it's so subtle and obvious and simple and complex at the same time. Some part of you holds your awareness so clearly of what you know to be true about source consciousness, about your own beingness as source consciousness, that then at the same time you are trying to be a diluted version of yourself. So you feel like you'd rather be an orange than a pineapple, or that the oranges that you know seem to have a better life. What kind of lostness is this? They're literally telling you to be a slave. They're literally like trying to make this weird analogy of like, all right, well, you know what fruits are. So it's important that you like take that concept to yourself, because they control what you believe fruits are. So they're like, so every fruit is its own fruit. It's important that you be what we also say that you are, and stay that. So don't try to be something else. AKA, don't change. And the spirit is change. Bro. This is so demonic. It hurts. Like every cell in my body. And they're using me to do it. Being in vibrational proximity to your wholeness. We like to talk in these ways in order to highlight some ways of being that you may not have realized you've been holding. This chapter, with its pockets of energy that are designed to unlock your fully ripened divine design, is highlighting the earth grid of being separate. What are they? What? The earth grid of being separate? Lostness. We've said that earth has had a time or two when vibrational proximity existed. What we mean by vibrational proximity is that the pineapple is a pineapple. You're you. The lawnmower is a lawnmower. I'm never saying this. This is lostness. It's like I almost want to skip it, but they're saying some weird stuff right now, so we have to keep going. There's simplicity and an alignment with the divine design of each thing and each being and how it expresses. Some of you are reclaiming this for yourself. You are choosing to be one who is in vibrational proximity to your own wholeness, even in the midst of others choosing being next to themselves or a diluted version of themselves or separate from themselves. In this, they are comparing. They are manifesting self-deprecation, self-judgment, holding back, playing small. There is an earth grid for that overlay, that distortion. So they're like, and the earth grid would just be, I don't know, logical separation of light that like is making them separate. What? Bro, this is so weird. With the tablets of light, however, they're trying to say that like just thoughts in general need to be obliterated by this one thought, which is unity consciousness. With the tablets of light, however, for those who are choosing to engage in it in this way, that earth grid of separation is being purged from your pineapple, from your core essence. So your pineapple is like, I don't know, your pineal gland, your pineal, your pineapple. Like they're trying to purge your vision, because that's where your third eye is your first eye. And you can't see anything you're not projecting into. So that's why the eye is simultaneously a receiver and projector. It's a two-way street. All right. This is why life is water. Life has to be two. They have the desire to just be one. So they want to see everything. And it shows in how they write, acting like they're me. So they're explaining it like, yeah, to purge your own thoughts, your earth thoughts. So your earth grid would be like your thoughts as to why you're on earth right now. Like it's not everything. It's a small thing in the universe and you're here learning cool things. What's up with that? They're literally just like taking that and being like, yeah, no, you need to purge that from your pineapple, from your third eye, from your first eye, and fill it with our vision. So that there is the most beautiful, exquisite, yummy pineapple you can be. This is disgusting. Filthy. This is like the language of like some just weird ass, just cult stuff where they're doing a lot of gross things behind closed doors. So then they want you to be the most beautiful, exquisite, yummy pineapple you can be. This feels like how Nickelodeon executives talk to the children that they're pulling into the back room. Like, yes, sign this contract and come back here. We're going to fill you with the light so you can be the most beautiful, exquisite, yummy pineapple ever. Man, same system. Imagine what it would be like if 1 out of every 1,000 people, 1 out of every 10,000 people were the full expression of who it is that they are. So you can colonize them? Insane. Imagine what that would be like. Imagine. Oh, wow. They're stealing it. Yeah, they're trying to colonize you. Imagine. Imagine. Can you imagine? Imagine what it would be like if everyone was an individual. So they're literally like even telling you like, all right, so create multiple versions of yourself. Imagine 10,000 people. So that's 10,000 yous. That's 10,000 versions of your spirit. Imagine they're all individual. So they're trying to colonize like every concept of individuality that you have. This is so weird. Imagine when you see it already right now, that it's extraordinary. It's why we use the example of the pineapple, because you might think of people who are really being the fullest versions of themselves are the elite, the Olympic athletes, the Mozarts and the Picassos. Like God referred to them. Those are examples of the pineapple being the pineapple. This is wild. Just bring up SpongeBob if you love pineapples so much, bro. Yet you can also see the pineapple being the pineapple in someone who has never been famous. But when you are with them, there is a radiance about their beingness that just shines through. Maybe they have a simple life, yet when you eat a meal that they've prepared or take in their smile, it's like you're in the face of magic. That's what they want, your magic. So they want your pineapple. Literally, they're colonizing it. We aren't talking about bigger, better, faster. When we're saying be the pineapple that you are, we're saying be the fullness of you, and the fullness of you is authentically you. Skip. All right. The illusion of hierarchy. Wait, the freedom from trying to be something that you are not opens up a beautiful presence. They're literally trying to like put in you what you're not, though. Like you can't really tell someone what they're not necessarily. Like, but like you can't like, yeah, you can't. But you can't tell someone what they are. Like, hold up. All right, you're nothing. Whatever you are, I know for a fact that you are a spirit. Now, whatever elements and light and darkness and feelings and thoughts you're using to express your spirit, that's where we get logical and labels. And then I would have to communicate with you to make you feel comfortable, so that I'm not calling you something that you don't feel comfortable. Regardless, we're all space, we're all spirit, we're all nothing, and we all inhabit different space. And we're creating these bodies and projecting our feeling into these bodies to operate them from that space. So everything is always going to be connected. It's all one. But like, wow. This is just really trying to then like tell you like, yeah, this is what you're not. So don't try to be that thing that you're not. But it's like you can be whatever you want to be. You can be whatever you want to be. Whatever you desire is going to be tethered to your individual nothingness. Like I'm not about to sit here and tell you like, don't, yeah, oh my gosh, whatever. Be whatever you want to be. I'm just saying, be what you want with the awareness that you're nothing. Because when you know that you're nothing, when you know that you're none of the things that you see, you can never be limited by what you see. This is the problem with this whole divine unity, white light supremacist stuff. It's about colonizing what you see, making you think that your spirit is what you can see so that they can colonize your spirit. This is the whole point of these tablets. And this is like so wildly deep. Like, truly, like people have done like, bro, like that. This is wild. This is like, this is a popular thing on Amazon. So like, it's like, oh man, words honestly are now gone. Because like that's just now my feeling. Like you have to feel like how exacerbated I am from how like this has seemingly affected me and how I've like changed based on how this has affected me on such a like subconscious, even like unconscious level. But it's manifested in my life in very physical ways that are really wild and only make sense looking back now, especially. So whatever, universe, the illusion of hierarchy. There's a difference between comparison and creating a hierarchy of something better than another being, and the awareness of the uniqueness of everything there is. This disintegration process that's available through this segment is a disintegration of that comparing up and down, better or worse, to the allowing of the brilliance of what is. Okay? Maybe for you, your optimal state of radiant health is manifested in a way that's absolutely right for you. All right. The illusion of hierarchy. So they're literally just trying to say, like, get everyone comfortable and like, yeah, like everyone, we are all one. But the fact that they're convincing you that you're one and that you are assigned to this means that you are now inevitably part of a hierarchy that you did not create. Literally. Literally. It literally means that you are assigned now into something and you're blinded by this light of, wow, no more hierarchy, because you got lost in that desire. And a spirit that has created hierarchy is using your desire for no hierarchy against you to build its own hierarchy. Pyramid schemes, spiritually. Transmitting supportive pockets of energy. That's just about to be about, yeah, hold up. Now we're transmitting more pockets of energy that are supporting you and unlocking more of who it is that you are as your fully realized self. This allows you to be in the vibrational proximity, the vibrational location of who it is that you are. Trying to be a coconut when you're a pineapple is a distraction. This is insane. They're literally telling you not to be something else that you might want to be. What the weird white supremacist thinking? Like, it's just so logical. It's so logical. It makes no sense. What is a coconut? What is a pineapple really? Well, like, why would I be saying, oh, you're a pineapple, don't even try to be a coconut? Like, what? Does that bro, that's not wise. That's not wise. There's no wisdom here. They're literally just lost. Shout out that reviewer who was like, this doesn't feel like divinity. All right, man. It takes away from your concentrating on your own uniqueness, your own path, your own soul agreements. So it's already like colonizing like your agreement. That's a contract. Like, they're making you agree to all this stuff, and then your own divine awareness. They're making you agree that you're part of their unity. So this is what they want. They're like, yeah, don't let your spirit try to tell you to change, because you need to be comfortable giving all of your soul to this one concept of our unity, where we've given you a job, basically. And there's no hierarchy here in like the light job world where you're a cog in our machine. We like where we've gotten to energetically. So we'll complete this segment at this time, knowing that you being you and you being in the sea of your fullness are one and the same. All right, that's it. So yeah, number 6, vibrational autonomy. I will see you in part 9 of episode 3, Tablet Talks, gang.